Hi everyone, welcome to the Performance Management हिंदी रिवीजन। तो आज हम क्या कर रहे हैं? बेसिकली हम एक 100 मार्क का क्वेश्चन लेंगे एंड जो ऑब्वियसली एक स्पेसिमेन पेपर है। 100 मार्क का स्पेसिमेन पेपर इट इज़ ऑल्सो अवेलेबल ऑन योर सीबीई प्लेटफॉर्म। वो हम आज सॉल्व करेंगे। ओके सो मैं ऑब्वियसली पूरा का पूरा एग्जैक्टली सॉल्व नहीं कर रही हूँ। मैं आपको गाइड करूँगी कि आपको कैसे कहाँ से क्या इंफॉर्मेशन निकालनी है, क्या नंबर्स निकालने हैं एंड देन गो अहेड विद इट। ओके जस्ट गिव मी 1 मिनट, लेट मी जस्ट क्विकली चेक ऑन माय वॉइस। मैं आपको गाइड कर परफेक्ट राइट, सो इट्स गोइंग ऑल गुड। ये क्वेश्चन पेपर एज आई सेड सीबी प्लेटफॉर्म पे है एंड जब भी हम एक 100 मार्क का पेपर लेते हैं जो 3 आवर्स का है और जो मिक्स ऑफ सेक्शंस है जहाँ पे एमसीक्यूज है एंड कंस्ट्रक्टिव रिस्पॉन्स स्पेस है, तो उसको कैसे यूटिलाइज करना है दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट। आपके पास जो परफॉर्मेंस मैनेजमेंट का जो पेपर है उसमें 60%, दैट मीन्स 30 marks for section A, 30 marks for section B, and 40 marks for section C जाता है, right? So 60% of the space is gone in section A and section B. 40% is for section C. सेक्शन ए एंड सेक्शन बी इज एमसीक्यूज। यहाँ पे आपको लगता है कि थोड़ा सा सिंपल होता है क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली मतलब 4 में से एक ऑप्शन आपको पिकअप करने हैं, बट when you actually try to solve these questions, you would realize that it becomes little more difficult, little more challenging when it comes to your section A and section B questions. कभी कभी उसके जो calculatives होते हैं उसमें बहुत ही ज़्यादा टाइम चला जाता है, right? Despite of all this prima facie information, बहुत मैटर करता है कि आपने कितना प्रिपेयर किया है, कितना आपने क्वेश्चंस खुद से करे हैं, मतलब टेस्टिंग योर सेल्फ। ये सारी चीज़ें आपके परफॉर्मेंस मैनेजमेंट में बहुत ही ज़्यादा हेल्प करेगा। आपने जितने ज़्यादा क्वेश्चंस देखे हैं, जितने ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए हैं एक्सेल पे, वो एक तो आपको टाइम मैनेजमेंट इम्प्रूव करेगा, एक्सेल या स्प्रेडशीट जो भी बोले, टाइम मैनेजमेंट एक तो आपका इम्प्रूव करेगा। दूसरा, जो हम हैंड रिटन पेपर्स लिखते हैं उसका एकदम ही डिफरेंट एक फॉर्मेट होता है, डिफरेंट एक वे ऑफ वर्किंग होता है एंड स्प्रेडशीट पे जब आप काम कर रहे हो तो दैट इज़ अ वेरी डिफरेंट थिंग, right? So that everything, all these things, using your Excel would be a challenge. Managing your time would be a challenge when you are solving a question, say it for 2 marks or 20 marks by yourself, right? That's why I said 60% of the ACCA study hub questions have to be solved. Solved means खुद से Excel sheet पे, spreadsheet पे करिए, and 40% is to be looked into. राइट, ये जो बैलेंस है ये बहुत ही परफेक्टली काम करता है एंड इससे आप नोटिस करोगे कि आप क्वेश्चंस को समझना भी फास्ट लगते हो एंड उसको सॉल्व करना भी आपको इजी लगता है, राइट। सो दैट्स द होल इंटेंशन ऑफ दिस। देन व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट थिंग? सेक्शन सी जो आपका कंस्ट्रक्टिव रिस्पॉन्स एरिया होता है, उसमें यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट a good, not I would say equal, but a fairly similar kind of weightage that is given to numerical questions and narrative questions. Okay, so constructive response में एक benefit क्या होता है कि numerical questions में आप जितने steps correct करते हैं उतने steps के आपको marks मिलते हैं। सेक्शन ए सेक्शन बी में क्या होता है, आपने अगर जो भी आंसर आपने टिक किया या जो भी आंसर आपने डाला, वैल्यू डाला, अगर वो करेक्ट है या देन यू completely get your 2 marks, but अगर वो wrong है then you don't get any marks, which is something which eliminates in your section C. So section C also gives you an edge to do questions on the basis of the, the information that it has, right? Every steps or every correct information gives you a marking. The second part of it is the theory portion, right? In theory also, if you see, as I said, there would be a distribution, but in theory part also, uh, as many pointers or as many right information you put in the answer, that gives you an edge to score the points, right? So this is how basically your section A, B, and C would look in the exam. As much as I would, put my जजमेंट टू आप कौन से में ज़्यादा स्कोर कर सकते हो, बिकॉज आई गेट अ लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स आस्किंग मी कि मैम कौन से सेक्शन से शुरू करना चाहिए. सो माय ओनली आंसर टू दैट इज एक मॉक देख के देखो, एक पास्ट पेपर खुद से सॉल्व करके देखो, आपको खुद को पता चल जाएगा कौन सा स्ट्रैटेजी वर्क करता है, राइट? क्योंकि सबका अपना अपना एक स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉइंट होता है. जैसे किसी का लॉजिकल रीजनिंग हो गया, किसी का थियोरी हो गया, किसी के वेरिएंस बहुत अच्छे हैं, किसी का एबीसी कॉस्टिंग अच्छा है, एनीथिंग, राइट? सो इट हैज टू बी यू हु डिसाइड्स कि आप कौन से सेक्शन से शुरू करोगे, और वो आप तभी डिसाइड कर सकते हो जब आप खुद से मॉक पेपर सॉल्व करते हो एंड आपको रियलाइज होता है कि ओ वेल, मैं सेक्शन सी से शायद अगर शुरू करता या करती तो बेटर अपॉर्चुनिटी होती ज़्यादा मार्क्स स्कोर करने की, राइट? ऑल्सो सी नॉर्मली सारे पेपर्स में तो मैं रिकमेंड डिफरेंट डिफरेंट स्ट्रैटेजीज करती हूँ, लेकिन फॉर परफॉर्मेंस मैनेजमेंट आई टेल माई स्टूडेंट्स to give a glance to all the questions that are asked, right? आपके पास मैंने सीवी प्लेटफॉर्म दिखाया था जो एग्जैक्टली exactly रेप्लिकेट करता है आपके एक्चुअल एग्जाम सिस्टम को. तो उसमें एक नेविगेटर करके बटन है, जो राइट हैंड साइड पे नेक्स्ट एंड प्रीवियस के बीच में आता है एक नेविगेटर. उस पर क्लिक करिए, गो थ्रू ऑल द क्वेश्चंस स्पेसिफिकली ऑफ सेक्शन सी. देखिए कुछ कंफर्टेबल है तो वहां से लिखना शुरू कर दीजिए, राइट? डोंट वेस्ट योर टाइम इन थिंकिंग एंड गोइंग थ्रू द क्वेश्चंस. ऑब्वियसली जब मैं आपके साथ ये पेपर सॉल्व कर रही हूँ तो वी ऑल नो कि वो पेपर मैंने पहले से पढ़ा है, एंड आई सॉल्व्ड इट बिफोर, सो इट बिकम्स कंफर्टेबल फॉर मी. एंड व्हाइल आई विल बी डूइंग दिस पेपर ऑल्सो यू वुड फील दैट ओ इट्स सो इजी to do it. But the problem lies between not I doing it, but when you try to decode it, right? So many times students come to me and say, ma'am, when you solve it, it looks so easy. But when we do it, we can't figure it out. So that you can't figure it out वाला sentence कब कम होगा यूज करना, या फिर कब completely eliminate हो जाएगा, जब आप खुद से क्वेश्चंस को देखो, समझो, सॉल्व करो, राइट? As much as I can help you, I am going to do that in the revision revolution, right? But the reality is your input matters a lot, right? So if you start putting your input, if you put your paddle on the saddle and start riding the horse, that is where you will reach to your ACCA journey faster. But of course, I'm there to help you. I'm there to make things easier for you. Use my experience to make sure that the strategies that I have used, or I have with myself or with my students, which have been foolproof ways of passing papers, or encountering papers, I want to bring them out to you. But at the same time, this would not be the only thing that you require. You require your dedication, you require your working also, right? So, with that note, we will start our specimen one. This is also available on your CBE platform, right? So, if you want to see from there also, you can always do it. Let's start with the first question that we have. So, this is yeah. I'm starting from section A only क्योंकि you know as I said, आप अपना figure out करो कि कौन सी section आपका strong है या फिर कौन सा section आपको comfortable लगता है, क्योंकि you will be surprised that everybody has got their own stronger points, right? So अगर किसी को section C पसंद है, that means वो theory के साथ comfortable है. Section A B वाले लोग mostly logical reasoning के साथ comfortable होते हैं. So you find out what you want to do in terms of what section you want to start with. But I have given you a tool how you can do it by solving mock paper one, first mock paper. At least solve one mock paper and figure out that in 3 hours time how much can you finish. Okay, let's go to this question. And this looks like a ABC question, something which is very comfortable, right? So आप ऐसे क्वेश्चन में कैसे हैंडल करते हो ऐसे क्वेश्चंस को? सबसे पहले एक्टिविटी बेस्ड कॉस्टिंग है, राइट? सो एक्टिविटी बेस्ड कॉस्टिंग में सबसे पहले आप एक्टिविटी पूल्स को एक्टिविटी ड्राइवर्स के साथ रिलेट करोगे, राइट? यहाँ पे दो मैन्युफैक्चरर प्रोडक्ट्स है, सी एंड डी, एंड आपको सिर्फ ओवरहेड कॉस्टिंग निकालनी है प्रोडक्ट डी की, राइट? Activity based costing use करके. So whatever you can see prima facially, you will just, highlight them or keep them into notice, and you set up the cost. So first thing that you will do is you will find out what are the cost pools to the cost drivers. अब यहाँ पे जैसे प्रोडक्शन सेटअप कॉस्ट है, एग्जाम के प्रेशर में ना वो सेटअप कॉस्ट कहीं दिखेगा नहीं ना, तो आप प्रोडक्शन को भी इतना इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं दोगे. सो दैट इज ओके. इंस्पेक्शन कॉस्ट, सीधा सीधा इंस्पेक्शन प्रोडक्शन, सेम टर्म्स दिख रहे हैं, राइट? सो पहले जो आता है वो रिलेट करो. ओवरहेड कॉस्ट है एब्जॉर्ब्ड ऑन लेबर बेसिस, सो पहले ओवरहेड कॉस्ट को लेबर से रिलेट करो. एंड देन और एक लास्ट पूल बच्चा है ड्राइवर, देन यू विल पुट इट ऑन this, right? So what I have done is right now I have first step of ABC is segregating or joining your activity pools to your activity drivers. And what will you do here to find out your per product setup? आप क्या करोगे? You will be taking 1,40,000 and you will be dividing it with your pool, which is 15, right? You will do the same for inspection, 80,000 divided with 5. And the third one is overhead, which is 96,000 divided by 48. Sorry, मैंने यहाँ का value ले लिया. I was supposed to take the front value. Let me just rectify that. It is 28 and this is 8. Right? So by this you will get your per product cost for each driver. Right? One more thing is now you have to add up the cost. To find out the total cost for per product setup, this value whatever comes, which is 5,000, then 10,000, and overhead is 2, right? So you need to find out your total cost. Total cost के लिए क्या करोगे? सारे ही values add करोगे, right? So you will take your production setup, 5,000 into 15 production setups you require, right? So you're going to say 5,000 into 15. उसके बाद you have inspection, which is 10,000, and you have 3 inspections to be done. So 10,000 into 3. And the last one is your overhead cost, which is on the labor hour basis. Now this is where the trick point comes. Brain trainer बताया था मैंने, right? वो यहाँ पे है. Your labor hour per unit is 10. The total production you have is 4,000. So if you want to find out the labor hour here, what you will do is you will do 4,000 which is the number of units, 10 per unit, and how many of those overhead? 2, right? So this is how you will find out your total cost. And that total cost would be here, it is 1,85,000. Then you divide this by the total number of units because you want to find out only individual product ka cost, right? So individual units, and that comes to 1,85,000 divided by 4,000. 46.25 जो आपका आंसर है B, and then you will select your answer as B. Clear? Let's go to the next one. The selling price of the product X is a set of 550 for each. The selling price of product X is set at 550 for each unit, and sales for the coming year are expected to be 800 units. A return of 30% on the investment of 500,000 in product X will be required for the coming year. So what is your target cost? Target cost find out करने के लिए first of all you need to know your fixed cost, right? So what we have here, we have got our return that we require, right? This term return on investment, which is 30%, is actually a profit, right? So कभी कभी profit सामने से दिखता नहीं है, but return on investment profit is one and the same thing, right? So return on investment is 30%. So your profit is going to be 30% of 5 lakhs. That is 1,50,000, right? Now, what else? We have our sales revenue. Your sales revenue is 550 multiplied by number of units, which is 800. So that comes to 4,40,000, right? Now, अगर मैं sales revenue में से so contribution, sorry, fixed cost कैसे find out करेंगे? Fixed cost is equal to sales revenue minus profit. You'll get your cost, right? And that is what you do. You find out your sales revenue, which is 4 lakhs, and then your profit that you are desiring, which is 1,50,000, right? So 4,40,000 minus 1,50,000 करोगे, so you will get your total cost, right? Just gonna put total cost here, which is equal to 4,40,000 minus 1,50,000. That comes to 2,90,000, right? Now, since you are asked to do the target cost for each unit, आप इसको 2,90,000 को number of units के साथ divide करो, which is equal to 2,90,000 divided by 800. That comes to 362.5, which is your answer D, right? Your answer is clear. Let's go to the next question. P company makes two products, P1 and P2, and in your question, you have been given the selling price of both the products and all the financials. Budgeted sales of product P1 and P2 are 10,000 and 12,000 units respectively. The fixed overhead cost included in P1 relates to apportionment of general overhead cost only. However, P2 also includes specific fixed overhead totaling to $2,500, right? So here what you are supposed to do is, if only P1 were to be made, how many units would it be sold in order to achieve a profit of 60,000? That means here you need to find out the number of units that you need to make, right? Provided you get a profit of $60,000. Let's do this now, right? So here we have our contribution value ready, right? Just find out the fixed cost first. The fixed cost for the product is 1,000, sorry, 10,000 into 1.2 and 12,500 into $1, right? So we can get the fixed cost of both the products here, which is I'm going to put the values just like that, तो आपको पता चले, which is 1.2 into 10,000 plus 1 into 12,500, right? And then we deduct 2500 out of it, so we get our fixed cost. I've already calculated it to be 22,000. So एक हमारा fixed cost आपको मिल गया. दूसरा, we have our expected profit, right? So our expected profit is what? 60,000, which is already given here. And now, how much is the contribution? Well, you can find out contribution by adding, deducting all the direct cost or variable cost from the selling price. The other option to find out contribution is simply taking your profit plus adding your overhead cost, right? So here your contribution, I'll give you one more formula, fixed cost plus your profit, right? So how much does that come to? 3.2 plus 1.2, right? So that comes to 4.4. Ab, the understanding here is your how many units you would need to sell, right? So the number of units you want to find out. That is your fixed cost. Fixed cost हमने find out कर लिया है 22,000, right? Plus the target profit, which is given in the question, 60,000, divided by the contribution. Now the contribution for only one product. Fixed cost एक cost है जो दोनों का हम साथ में ले सकते हैं because that is the total cost that is done. But when we come to our, when we come to the finding of the number of units, then it only has to be for one product, right? So that is where we get this answer, which is 82,000 divided by 4.4. Let's do that. Is equal to 82,000 divided by 4.4 comes to 18,636.36. अब यूनिट्स है तो पॉइंट में या डेसिमल में तो आंसर नहीं आएगा, सो वी विल जस्ट लुक इनटू द मोस्ट nearest answer to this, which is answer C. I'm not going through the formulas because by this time I do believe that you are very well versed with the formulas, right? Now this is the first question that has come for theory, right? अगर कभी भी theory का question आए तो don't be overconfident and think, okay, we know the answer and we will be able to handle it. It has to be handled correctly if you want to score the right marks, right? तो कभी भी theory का question आए तो use the art of elimination. जो भी ऑप्शंस है उसमें से देखो कि आपको श्योर क्या है कि गलत कौन सा है, राइट? जो भी गलत है उसको पहले एलिमिनेट करो, देन लुक फॉर द ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल विथ यू. लाइक इन दिस क्वेश्चन, which of the following statements are true is what the question is asking, right? The majority of environmental costs are already captured by typical organizations. Yes, environmental cost एक ऐसी चीज है जो आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में होती है लेकिन आप शायद उसको segregate नहीं करते हैं, separate नहीं करते. So this is definitely a cost that you know about. Input output analysis divides material flow into organizations three category: material flow, system flow, and delivery and disposal. Well, ये बिल्कुल गलत है. Input output analysis only looks at what goes inside and how much you are getting out of it to assure where the wastages lie. So definitely any answer that has got two in it, number two, is wrong. So आपका A नहीं होगा, definitely आपका D नहीं होगा, right? One of the cost categories used in environmental activity based costing is environmental driven cost, which is used for cost which can be directly traced to cost centers. Right now, environmental cost is never merged with activity based cost. So, definitely, this is also a wrong thing. Definitely, 3 is not a correct answer. I am left with only one answer, which is B. This kind of questions will not even save your time, but it will also show you that how you can score on your theory questions. Let's go to the next one. One more theory question. So here it says that a budget is quantified plan of action for a forthcoming period. Budgets can be prepared using a variety of different approaches, and here you need to figure out what kind of approaches are there, right? You need to select the answers which are correct. Again, the same thing, same logic, art of elimination. जो गलत है, जो आपको श्योर लगता है गलत है या श्योर लगता है सही है, उसको पहले ही आप ट्रू या फॉल्स में कन्वर्ट कर दो, एंड फिर देखो वो कहाँ पे फॉल हो रहे हैं, वो चीजों को आप निकाल दो, राइट? राइट। Incremental budgeting builds previous inefficiencies into a budget, whereas zero based budgeting encourages employees to avoid wasteful budget. ये बिल्कुल ही correct है, right? Beyond budgeting uses adaptive management process and plans on rolling basis. That is wrong. Beyond budgeting does not work on rolling basis. I've got my first elimination. Beyond budgeting uses adaptive management process and plans on rolling basis. Hmm. Wait, wait. Questions like this are little confusing. I'm just going to put a question mark because I think I want to come back to this point again and not make a decision faster. Activity based costing ensures that the budget is continually updated by adding new budget. Definitely wrong है. Activity based costing बिल्कुल वो guideline पे नहीं work करता है. I've got my first wrong statement, and the first wrong statement lies in this and lies in this. So automatically my C and D are eliminated. अब क्या बचा? Flexible budgeting recognizes different cost behavior patterns and so takes into account organization's overall strategy. Flexible budgeting एक ट्रेडिशनल बजटिंग मेथड है जहाँ पे डेफिनेटली स्ट्रैटेजीज नहीं देखते, तो बिल्कुल फोर भी आंसर रॉन्ग है, राइट? So definitely it's not B, and hence it is just A. I was not sure about number two, right? That's why I put it under question mark. But when you're very sure about your wrong answers and when you keep on eliminating them, automatically you will come to the answer that is left behind. This is a little process. इसके लिए आपका theory थोड़ा strong होना चाहिए, लेकिन still, it's not something that you cannot achieve. This kind of decision tree questions sometimes really affect the students because they get a little confused of how to deal with the decision tree question, right? You know, as much as everybody knows कि 2020 से decision tree draw करना या graph draw करना आपके एग्जाम में नहीं है, but that does not mean कि plotting करना या उसको analyze करना या उसको read करना भी एग्जाम में नहीं है, right? तो वो सब है एग्जाम में, तो kindly accommodate with that. A leisure company owns a number of large health and fitness resorts, but one is suffering from declining sales and is predicted to make a loss in the next year. As a result, management have identified a number of possible actions: shut down the resort and sell off the assets, undertake a major upgrade to facilitate costings, which is going to cost 4.5 million, undertake a minor upgrade to facilitate costing, which is going to cost 2.2 million. Upgrade are predicted to have a variable result, and the probability of good results after a major upgrade is zero point 0.8 and after a minor upgrade is 0.7. The company is a risk neutral company and you have got all the decision tree options that you have. What you need to do, what should the company do? मतलब सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉफिट कहाँ से आ रहा है? Company should shut down and sell, undertake major upgrades, undertake minor upgrades, or undertake major upgrades if results are good only. So what should they do? Decision tree है मतलब expected value है. Expected value we can find out. EV is working on the probability. If you see, let's take this paragraph. It says that major upgrade is 0.80. Good result का chances of a major upgrade is 80%. That means bad result का है 20%. Similarly, minor upgrade का good results का chances is 70%. That means bad result का chances है 30%, right? So this is how you will bifurcate those values. Let's put into the EVs. 0.8 and क्या है इसका गुड रिजल्ट्स का प्रोबेबिलिटी 11 million पे, right? Then you are using the next one, which is 0.2, and multiply that with the poor result, which is 7.5. राइट, ऐसे आप एक्सपेक्टेड वैल्यू फाइंड आउट कर लो तो मेजर अपरेट का इट्स 10.3. Let's do it for minor also. 70, right? So 0.7 into good result is 9 million. 9 plus 0.3 into 6 million, right? So 0.3 into 6 million, that comes out to be 8.1 million, right? अब डिसीजन टाइम, अगर आप शट डाउन करते हो तो व्हाट इज द वैल्यू? 4 point, no sorry, 5.75 is just here, shut down and sell. 5.75 अगर आप मेजर अपग्रेड करते हैं, right? So that is going to be 10.3 minus your 4.5 million, right? That comes to 5.8. एंड अगर आप माइनर अपग्रेड करते हो सो दैट इज 8.1 माइनस यहाँ से पुअर, सॉरी, माइनर रिजल्ट का है 2 million, दैट कम्स टू 6.1. नाउ इफ यू नोटिस हियर, जो सबसे ज्यादा एक्सपेक्टेड रिटर्न है वो आ रहा है माइनर में से, राइट? एंड हेंस we will be using option number C. 3 option number C जो बोलो वो, राइट? क्वेश्चन सिंपल होता है, कभी कभी स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे ही डर जाते हैं. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. The company has the following production planned for the next 4 weeks. The figures reflect the full capacity level of operations. Planned output is equal to the maximum demand per product. राइट, तो यहाँ पे क्या है आपका सेलिंग प्राइस, रॉ मटेरियल, डायरेक्ट लेबर, वेरिएबल, फिक्स्ड ओवरहेड एंड प्रॉफिट्स. प्लान्ड आउटपुट दिया हुआ है, डायरेक्ट लेबर पर यूनिट दिया हुआ है. इट हैज नाउ बीन आइडेंटिफाइड दैट लेबर इज लिमिटेड, मतलब आपका बॉटलनेक ऑलरेडी दिया हुआ है विच इज लेबर 4,000 आवर्स. इन व्हाट ऑर्डर शुड यू प्रोड्यूस? बहुत ही सिंपल क्वेश्चन है ये तो, राइट? आपको बहुत 2 स्टेप्स में ये क्वेश्चन कंप्लीट करना है, राइट? सबसे पहले क्या फाइंड आउट करोगे? अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन. मैंने कंट्रीब्यूशन का एक ऑल्टरनेटिव फॉर्मूला दिखाया था, फिक्स कॉस्ट प्लस प्रॉफिट. सो 46 and 52 and 21 and your 60, right? So 46, 52, 21 and 60. Then after you will be taking the number of labor hours because that is the scarce. So 6, 8, 3, 2. Right? So आपका एक contribution आ गया. Now you need to find out the contribution per labor hour. So is equal to 46 divided by 6. And the same formula, drag it for the next ones. Now you can figure out which one is giving you highest contribution. So this is your A, this is your first. Let me just not write A. This is your first, this is your second, third, fourth, right? So that is D, A, C, B. Let's look for that answer. D, A, C, B. Answer is 8. A. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. 8. राइट। आई टोल्ड यू सिंपल है, बॉटलनेक दिया जाता है, बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन है, यू नीड टू फिगर इट आउट, राइट द करेक्ट आंसर। Deaf company provides accounting services to government departments. On average, each staff member works 6 chargeable hours. मैं आपको एक चीज I should have told you but I completely forgot is कभी कभी क्वेश्चन में जो हम नंबर्स पिकअप करते हैं ना, वो नंबर्स कभी कभी वर्ड नंबर नेम्स में लिखे जाते हैं, लाइक जैसे कि अगर 8 है तो EIGHT लिखते हैं, तो क्या होता है नॉर्मली ह्यूमन टेंडेंसी कि जो नंबर्स है, if it is in a numerical format, it picks up your eyes, right? But right now, because there are some numbers which are written in a number name format, you don't pick them up very fast. Like the same thing that has happened in this question, right? If you see here says 6, right? So this number had to be 6, which would have picked up like this, but you could not, right? Deaf company provides accounting service to government departments. On average, each staff member works 6 chargeable hours per day, with the rest of their working day being spent on non-chargeable admin work. One of the company's main objectives is to produce a high level of quality and customer satisfaction. Deaf company has set its target for the next year as follows: cutting department expenditure by 5, increasing the number of chargeable hours handled by advisors at 6.2, and obtaining the score of 4.7 on customer satisfaction. On the value for money, which is economy, efficiency, and effectiveness, you need to figure out which of this parameter comes in which radar. Cutting down expenditure by 5% is definitely economy. So either it has to be point 1 or point D. पहले ही एलिमिनेट हो जाते हैं हमारे बी और सी, पहले ही एलिमिनेट हो गए। दूसरा क्या है, इंक्रीजिंग द नंबर ऑफ चार्जेबल आवर्स हैंडल्ड बाय एडवाइजर्स, that means that shows that the company is looking for the effectiveness कि एक person कितना काम कर सकता है, so that is definitely this, you don't need to look any further and the answer is D, right? धीरे धीरे आर्ट ऑफ एलिमिनेशन प्रैक्टिस करो, लग, अच्छे से हो जाएगा and you'll be able to clear it also with right answers. Different types of information systems provide the information which organization needs for strategic planning, management, and operational control. Which of the following statements are true? Right? That means इसमें से कौन से सही है? This is something related to MIS, EPS, TPS, EIS, and ERPS. Right? So let's see which is the answer. Management information system is summarizing the internal data, that is correct. Transaction processing facilitates immediate processing system, that is also correct. EIS is full of interactives and facilities. If you remember, there were bar charts and all that were explained through EIS. And ERPS is something where extranet is there, where you are linked to suppliers and customers. That means all the answers are correct, which comes in your point B, and therefore the answer is D. Right? Amazing. Right. थियोरी क्वेश्चंस अच्छे होते हैं, आर्ट ऑफ एलिमिनेशन इम्प्रूव करूं, समझो कि क्या चीज बिल्कुल ही गलत है, क्या चीजें राइट है, आप स्ट्रांग हो उस पे एंड देन कैरी ऑन विद इट, ओके? Use the following are all types of cost associated with management information: use of barcoding and scanners, payroll department processing of personal cost, completion of timesheets, and input of data into production system. Which of the above are data capture cost? I definitely know that barcode is a data capture cost, right? क्योंकि आप डेटा वहां से पिकअप करते हो, right? So definitely it is one. Anything which does not have one should be eliminated. Payroll department processing of personal cost is not a data capture, basically, right? Payroll department is something that is going to be looking into the personal information, and it is not like a barcode or scanner that you can capture. So definitely it is not too, और किसी क्वेश्चन में too heavy नहीं. So I'm now again going to look at the next one, which is completion of timesheets by employees is definitely not a direct data capture cost. Yes, then I'm only left with one answer, which is D, and therefore D is the answer. Right? Which of the following statement regarding life cycle costing are correct? And it can be applied not only to products but also to an organization's customers. Yes. It includes any opportunity costs associated with the production. No, it doesn't take into consideration opportunity cost. The maturity phase is categorized characterized by a rapid built up in the demand, not really. Often 70 to 90% of costs are determined early in the product life cycle. That is very true, right? So here the answer is C. टू थिंग्स विच आई वाज वेरी श्योर अबाउट. एक तो स्टार्टिंग में ही सारा लाइफ साइकिल कॉस्टिंग में ये होता है ना कि स्टार्टिंग में ही आप मोस्ट ऑफ द कॉस्ट को फिगर आउट कर लेते हो, राइट? सो दिस इज व्हाट you come as an answer for this. A company manufactures a product which requires 4 hours per unit to of machine time. Machine time is a bottleneck resource, and as there are only 10 machines which are available for 12 hours per day, see here also उन्होंने number name use किया है. 5 days per week. The product has a selling price of 130, direct material is 50, labor cost is 40, factory overhead is 20. These costs are based on weekly production and sales of 150 units. What is the TPAR? Throughput accounting ratio. Now, for throughput accounting ratio, it's very important that you know the formula. Right? If you know the formula, your work becomes very easy. So TPAR is equal to return per factory hour divided by cost of factory or factory cost, whatever you say, right? Then यहाँ पे हमारे पास सारी ही information है for this question. So we'll just take the return per factory hour, which is 130, which is their selling price, minus your direct material cost, which is 50, and then you divide it by the number of hours required, right? So, which are the available values? There are four. A manufacturer company requires 4 hours per unit. So, number of hours is four, right? So, you'll get your return per factory hour. Cost of factory hour is your labor and your overhead cost, right? So, it is going to be 20 plus 40. Okay, this is also divided by the number of hours. So this gives you a return per factory hour. This one is your return per factory hour. I'm just going to color it into, yeah, of white. And this is your cost per factory hour, right? When you divide them, you will get your TPAR. In this answer, I'll just do it is equal to and take the values, which is 20 divided by 15. It gives us 1.33, which is the first answer, right? So राइट। टीपीआर के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं एग्जाम में, और टीपीआर में यही है कि फॉर्मूला याद होनी चाहिए। अगर फॉर्मूला याद हो गया देन देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम एट ऑल। Ox company has two divisions A and B. Division A makes a component of air condition. So Ox company has got two divisions A and B, and division A makes a component of air condition which it can only sell to B. Transfer pricing का question लग रहा है ये. It has no other outlets for sale. Current information relating to division A is given. Marginal cost per unit it is 100. Transfer price of the component is 165. Total production and sales for the component each year is 2,200 units. Specific fixed cost for division A per year is $10,000. Coal company has offered to sell the component to division B for $140 per unit. If division B accepts this offer, division A will be closed. What you need to do, if division B accepts coal company's offer, what will be the impact on the profit per year of the group? So देखना है कि increase या decrease हो रहा है. Let's work on it. Right. So when we talk about the variable cost per unit from buying this, it is going to be 140 minus the marginal cost. So your increase in variable cost will be 40, 140 minus 100, right? And now increase in the total variable cost is going to be 40 into 2200, which is 2200 units, which gives you an answer of 88,000, right? इसमें से आप specific cost है जो वो minus करोगे, division A का specific cost, right, which is minus 10,000, giving you a value of 78,000. Right? Here you have only one value of 78,000, so you can easily use it, which is a decrease in the volume. Sometimes एक ही value के दो लिखे होते हैं, increase and decrease. Increase 78,000, decrease in 78,000. That is where you have to further process your brain and tell कि भाई ये आप profit कमा रहे हो या पैसा घुमा रहे हो, राइट, एंड देन यू हैव टू लुक इनटू योर आंसर. यहाँ तो सिंपल था, सिर्फ एक ही 78,000 का वैल्यू है तो आपको पता है वही वैल्यू होगा, लेकिन अगर इंक्रीज डिक्रीज दो इन्फॉर्मेशन डाली होती देन इट वुड बी एन इशू, राइट. लेट्स गो टू द नेक्स्ट वन. डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है बेस्ड ऑन एन ऑथर विच इज स्विट्जरलैंड एंड मून्स बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक मॉडल. The determinants of performance are quality, innovation, and resources utilization and competitiveness. Does that Is that what Switzerland and Moon's model means? No. Targets are standard targets for performance and should be fair, achievable, and controllable, which is also incorrect. Reward encourages staff to work towards the standards and should be clear, motivating, and controllable. This is something which is directly related to the standards. And if you remember the building block model, this standards is something which definitely is there. So it can be just right. What we have done is we simply used the elimination method. क्या गलत है, क्या सही है, what you are very sure of and use that up, right? लेकिन इसके लिए स्विट्जरलैंड एंड मून्स बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक मॉडल याद होना बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. Let's take our section B. In section B, you are going to have one scenario On that scenario, you will be having five two-marker questions, right? We will start section B, but let's take like a small 10 minutes break and then we will start with section B, right? हाय, बैक फ्रॉम द ब्रेक। चलिए करते हैं सेकेंड पार्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, सेक्शन बी। यहाँ पे एज आई सेड एक क्वेश्चन होगा एंड उसके ऊपर से यू विल बी हैविंग 5 क्वेश्चंस रिलेटेड टू इट। वन सिनेरियो, एक सिनेरियो होगा एंड 5 क्वेश्चंस होंगे उसके ऊपर, 2 मार्क्स ईच के। लेट्स रीड द क्वेश्चन। Glam Company is a hairdressing salon which provides cuts and treatments. All cuts and treatments at the salon are carried out by one of the salon's 3 senior hairstylists. It has got 2 salon assistants and 2 juniors. Every customer attending the salon is first seen by a salon assistant, washes her hair, next by the senior stylist who cuts and treats, and then the junior who dries the hair. Average time that has been taken for each activity from different people is also mentioned here. Salon is open 8 hours a week, 6 days, and only closed for 2 weeks in a year. पूरे साल में कितने वीक्स होते हैं? 52। इसमें से 2 वीक सलोन बंद रहता है। स्टाफ की सैलरी है 40,000 फॉर सीनियर ईच स्टाइलिस्ट, 28,000 for junior, and 12,000 for your assistants. The cost of cleaning products applied when washing the hair is 1.50. The cost of all additional products is 7.40. Salon cost amount to 1,06,400 per year. Glam charges 60 for cut and 120 for the treatment. Right. The senior stylist has been correctly identified as the bottleneck. Bottleneck भी दे दिया है. What is the annual capacity of bottleneck activity? मतलब senior stylist कितने haircuts कर सकते हैं पूरे एक साल में, right? So simple है. पहले तो open कितना time है salon वो देख लेते हैं, right? So 8 hours into 6 days into 50 weeks, right? इतना salon का total time period है, right? 8 into 6 into 50, that comes to 2400 hours. हेयर कट को कितना टाइम लगता है? हेयर कट को लगता है 1 hour। एंड सीनियर हेयर स्टाइलिस्ट कितनी है? सीनियर स्टाइलिस्ट आर 3, राइट? सो टोटल कितने आवर्स है इनके पास? 2400 इंटू 3 विच इज 7200। हेयर कट को कितना टाइम लगता है? 1 hour। सो हेयर कट इज गोइंग टू बी 7200 हेयर कट्स। एंड ट्रीटमेंट को लगता है 1.5, so 7200 divided by 1.5, which comes out to be 4800. That means your answer is C, 7200 haircuts and 4800 treatments, right? Simple. TPAR फाइंड आउट करना है इसके बाद। अभी बताया था TPAR कैसे फाइंड आउट करना है, राइट? Calculate the TPAR for both. TPAR के लिए return on factory R and cost देना है। cost क्वेश्चन में दिया हुआ है which is 42.56. Return on factory R निकालना है। Return on factory hour is going to be this is the TP for both the services, right? So return on factory R for your cost 60, right? So 60 minus your labor cost. Sorry, your direct material cost, which is 1.50, right? So for cuts, TPR के लिए, it is going to be 60 minus 1.50, and then you divide it by 1 because 1 hour is the total time taken, which comes to 58.50. Treatment. Treatment is 110 and उसमें cost कितना जा रहा है? Read this carefully. The cost of cleaning products applied when washing the hair is 1.50. The cost of all additional products applied during a treatment is 7.40. मतलब 7.40 plus 1.50 total इनका direct cost है for your treatments, right? So वो हम दोनों ही यहाँ पे लिखेंगे, which is 110 minus your 740 plus 150, which is 8.90, and then the whole thing can be divided by the time taken for one treatment, so 1.5, right? So that comes to 67.4. अब इसका टीपीआर क्या निकलेगा? 58.5 divided by 42.56, already given in the question, and here 67.4 divided by 42.56, right? So that comes out to be 1.37, and for this it is 1.58, right? Clear? 1.37, 1.58, your answer is A. This is the answer. Let's go to the next one. Theory. Which of the following activities could the saloon use to improve the TPR? TPR क्या होता है कि प्रॉफिट कैसे इंक्रीज करना है, राइट? तो कैसे इंक्रीज होता है? अप्लाई एन इंक्रीज इन द सेलिंग प्राइस ऑफ द सर्विस, यस, उससे प्रॉफिट इंक्रीज होगा, क्यों नहीं? आइडेंटिफाई वेज टू रिड्यूस कॉस्ट, यस, तो भी प्रॉफिट इंक्रीज होगा. इंक्रीज द लेवल ऑफ इन्वेंट्री स्टॉक्स, इससे प्रॉफिट इंक्रीज नहीं होगा, डेफिनेटली नहीं, क्योंकि ये जब आप स्टॉक अप ज्यादा करते हो तो क्या करते हो, आपका पैसा होल्ड हो जाता है ना. सो दैट इज रॉन्ग. जहां पे भी 3 है वो आप पहले निकाल दो. इंक्रीज द प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ द स्टेज प्रायर टू द बॉटल नेक, that is also something that you cannot do. It will not help. Improve the control of the salon's total operating expense. How can you do that? Increase the time spent on the bottleneck activity to each service. That's definitely wrong. Then maybe this is right. Because definitely the 6, wherever there is a 6 that is coming, is wrong. That's why the answer is B. Right? और एक theory आ रहा है. What would be the effect on bottleneck if the salon employed another senior hairstylist? Now, for that, though, we have to figure out that what will happen, because just by looking at the values, we would not be able to find it out. Just give me 1 minute. Let me just. So it is saying that if one extra senior hairstylist joins, what will happen? Right? So अगर एक extra senior hairstylist join होती है, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो जो नंबर ऑफ आवर्स है वो इंक्रीज हो जाएंगे, राइट? फर्स्ट लेट्स फिगर आउट कि जो हमारे पास एग्जिस्टिंग कैपेसिटी है उसमें क्या काम हो रहा है. सो यहाँ पे 19th क्वेश्चन मैं यहाँ से शुरू करूंगी. It has got cuts and it has got treatments. It has got assistant, senior and junior. So अगर assistant की बात करें तो assistant can manage with the amount of time that he or she has. So normally they have got 22,400 hours. Assistant है दो, right? और एक assistant को जो time लगता है उसके हिसाब से I found out that the cuts are 48,000, 16,000 treatments. Senior stylist 7,200 and 4,800, which we found out earlier. Junior stylist takes 8,000 and 9,600. So clearly, right now, the bottleneck is your senior hairstylist, right? Now, if one more hairstylist is added, that means that 2,400 hours will be done by now four people, which is totaling to 9,600, right? So 9,600 cuts तो कर पाएंगे क्योंकि 1 hour लग रहा है one cut करने को. 9,600 divide by 1.5 करोगे, then you will get the number of treatments also that you can do, right? Which is 6,400. So this can increase to 6,400 and this can increase to 9,600. So the bottleneck for the cut will be removed, but for the bottleneck of treatment will still be there. Let's see if we have an answer similar to this. The senior hairstyle will have a time. Time will be a bottleneck for cuts. Definitely not. The senior hairstylist has got a time for treatments. Definitely yes. So the answer is B. क्योंकि अगर आप नोटिस करो तो अगर एक एक्स्ट्रा सीनियर हेयर स्टाइलिस्ट आ भी जाती है तो भी जो बॉटल नेक सीनियर पे है वो वही का वही रहेगा. दैट्स व्हाई द आंसर इज बी. Which of the following statements regarding the theory of constraints are correct? Theory of constraints इसके लिए theory याद होना जरूरी है. Theory of constraint focuses on stages of congestion in a period when production arrives more quickly than the next stage can handle. That is your first one, right? Which is correct. It is based on the concept of organization's management of three factors: throughput, operating, perfect. That's also 100% correct. It uses a sequence of focusing steps to overcome single bottleneck. No, theory of constraint keeps on looking for more bottlenecks and multiple bottlenecks. So this is definitely wrong. It can be applied to the management of all limiting factors. It can't be helping any external factors. So the answer is A. Let's look at the next scenario. Chair company. So chair company has in development several new products. One of them is a new product of luxury car seats. The estimated labor time for the first unit is 12 hours, but a learning curve of 75% is expected to apply for the first 8 units produced. The cost of labor is $15 per hour. The cost of material and other variable overheads is expected to a total of $230 per unit. Chair company plans to on pricing the seat by adding 50% markup on the total variable cost per seat, with the labor cost being based on the incremental time taken to produce the eighth unit. What is the labor cost of the eighth unit? So there are four options given here. ये learning curve का क्वेश्चन है. इसका फॉर्मूला एग्जाम में भी दिया जाता है, लेकिन इसको एक्सेल पे अप्लाई करना स्टूडेंट्स को थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट होता है या फिर काफ़ी स्टूडेंट्स ने प्रैक्टिस नहीं की होती है. ए इंटू एक्स रेज टू बी, राइट. यहाँ पे अपना ए दिया गया है 12 आवर्स, मल्टीप्लाइड बाई एक्स दिया गया है 8 आवर्स. हमको फाइंड आउट करना है बी. बी इज लॉग आर अपॉन लॉग 2. यहाँ पे लॉग आर की वैल्यू दी है 7.5. तो आपको अपने स्प्रेडशीट में क्या लिखना है? इज इक्वल टू लॉग लिखोगे ना तो लॉग का फॉर्मूला आ जाएगा, उसमें 0.75 डालो बिकॉज 75% है, डिवाइडेड बाय लॉग, अगेन ब्रैकेट ओपन एंड पुट योर ब्रैकेट, द ब्रैकेट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ब्रैकेट नहीं डालोगे आंसर गलत आएगा, राइट, यू विल गेट योर माइनस, सॉरी you'll get your 0.415. Now this value has to be a negative value when it goes up, right? So minus 0.415 minus 0.415. ये जो इंफॉर्मेशन है ये आप एक्सेल पे कैसे डालते हो? So you'll just say is equal to 12 into, open your bracket, write 8, put this sign called exponential sign. ये कैसे आती है? शिफ्ट और 6 दबाओगे ना तो एक्सपोनेंशियल साइन आएगी. Then you have to put minus 0.415. You will get your answer to this, which is 5.0689 5.068, sorry 06289 blah blah blah. ओके, सो ये आपका 8 यूनिट्स ऐसे फाइंड आउट करोगे, उसके बाद आप 7 यूनिट्स फाइंड आउट करोगे, and then this 8 units is multiplied by the number of units, which is 8. 7 ka value would be multiplied by the number of units of 7. Then what you will do is 8 का जो भी वैल्यू आता है 8 यूनिट्स का, उसमें से 7 यूनिट्स का वैल्यू माइनस करो, you'll get your 8th unit value, right? This is how you will find this value out. The answer for that comes out to be 4565, which is your first answer. The next is the first phase of production has now been completed for the new car seat. The first unit actually took 12.5 hours to make, and the total time to make 8 units was 34.3 hours, at which the learning rate came to an end. That means इनका learning rate find out करना है कितना है after the 8th unit. So here we have got our hours taken. We also have our average time. So let's start with the units. So units, hours, 8 तक multiply हुआ. So 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 4 8. पहले यूनिट को बनाने में 12.5 आवर्स लगे, एवरेज टाइम 12.5 आवर्स, then you don't have anything, then you don't have anything, but you have this value which is 34.3 hours, right? So second year में 12.5 into r raised to nothing, फिर 12.5 into r raised to 2, 12.5 into r raised to 3. So now we need to find out the r raised to 3 ka value because it is grown 3 times, right? So what you will do is you will take your 34.3 is equal to 8, which is the units, multiplied by 12.5, which is the average time, into r raised to 3. You will eventually come to a value which is 0.343 is equal to r raised to 3. अब एक्सेल में ये वैल्यू ऊपर कैसे जाती है? 0.343 इंटू आर रेज टू 3 तक तो सब बच्चे कर लेते, सब स्टूडेंट्स. ये जो एक्सपोनेंशियल इधर है ये इधर जाएगा तो क्या होगा? So it will be 0.343 and then you put a exponential sign, right? And you put in bracket 1 divided by 3, or you can put 33 also, the answer will come same. And when you formulate this, when you calculate this, you will get your value of r. Now that value will be in decimal, right? So आपका इसका आंसर decimal में आता है, which obviously is 70%, and hence your answer is C, 70%, right? Let's look at the next question. Another product which chair company has in development is a new design for high chair for feeding your young children. Based on previous experience of producing similar products, chair company has assumed that a learning rate of 85% would apply to the manufacturing, but eventually only 80% applied. मतलब लोगों ने टाइम जितना लर्निंग के लिए लेना चाहिए था उससे कम टाइम में अपना सीख लिया. Right? So how do you deal with that? If the question says that it has been, the time taken has been less, then how do you actually deal with it? The staff are stable during the manufacturing, definitely yes. मशीन ब्रेकडाउन नहीं होता है तभी जाके लर्निंग रेट इंक्रीज होता है. Assembly of the chair was manual and very repetitive. That can be yes. High staff turnover होता तो learning rate में समय लगता. Right? So definitely 2 and 4 नहीं है, यहाँ पे 2 and 4 है, ये आंसर रॉन्ग होगा. ये भी आंसर रॉन्ग होगा. बचे बी एंड सी. There is a minimum stoppage in the production process. That is correct. And the design of the chair has changed several times. That is wrong. So your answer is B because that is the one which matches 1, 3, and 5. One more theory question. Which of the following statements regarding cost plus pricing strategies are correct? Marginal cost plus pricing is easier where there is a readily identifiable variable cost. True or false? Or is this a correct answer or not? It is asking, right? So that is a correct value. 1 minute. Full cost plus pricing requires budgeted level of output to be determined at the outset. That is also very correct. Cost plus pricing is a strategically focused approach as it accounts for external factors. Cost plus pricing requires that profit markup applied by an organization is fixed. So 1 and 2, that is the correct answer. Let's go to the next question of this. Chair company has also developed a new type of office chair, and the management is trying to formulate a budget for this product. They have decided to match the production level to demand. However, demand for this chair is uncertain. Management have collected the following information. What is the worst possible outcome, most possible outcome, and the best possible outcome? सेलिंग प्राइस दिया हुआ है, वेरिएबल कॉस्ट भी दिया हुआ है. You have to find the probabilistic budget के साथ what would be the budgeted contribution of the product, right? So यहाँ पे अगर देखो आपके worst, most likely and best options दिए हुए हैं, so we can stick to those values in terms of units, and then we have to find the budgeted contribution. So contribution, your total contribution, probability, and expected. EV find कर रहे हैं basically हम यहाँ पे, right? So 10,000, 22,000, 35,000. Probability भी मुझे मालूम है, वो भी मैं लिख दूँ 0.3, 0.5 and 0.2. Let's come to the contribution part. The selling price of the unit is 25 and the variable cost is 8. That is up to a level of 25,000 only. So 25,000 से पहले ये दोनों रेडार में आते हैं. So 25 plus 8, sorry, 25 minus 8, 17 for both of them. After that, the variable cost per unit decreases by 10%, and this reduction will apply to all the units produced at that level, right? So 7, आपका वेरिएबल कॉस्ट कितना है 8%, उसमें से 10% माइनस होगा, मतलब 0.8 माइनस होगा. So that becomes 7.2. आपको 25 में से 7.2 माइनस करना है तो becomes 17.8, which you will put it up here, right? Your total contribution is this into this, you'll get this value. Do the same for all of them. Multiply that with the probability. So this value with this value, you'll get these values. You add them up, you will get your expected budgeted contribution, right? So your expected budgeted contribution, right? Cool. Let's go to the next question, which is highlight. Okay, this company makes sofas and it has recently requested from a customer to provide a one-off order. So there's a one-off order that they have, and the order would be needed to be completed within 2 weeks, and the following estimate has been given. सो जो वन ऑफ कॉस्ट है वन ऑफ प्रोडक्ट है उसका कॉस्ट यहाँ पे मेंशन किया है उसका एक्सपेंस यहाँ पे मेंशन किया है फैब्रिक 200 meters at 17 50 meters wood at 18.2 skill labor 200 at 16 semi skill 300 at 12 and factory overheads are 500 at $3, right? So total production cost comes to 12,110. Usme they have got a general production cost which is 10%, making a total cost of 13321. The quotation now needs to be prepared on the relevant cost basis so that HL can offer a competitive price. The fabric is regularly used and there are currently 300 meters in inventory which cost at 17 million, so $17 per meter square. The current purchase price of the fabric is 17.5. So we have to take the relevant cost, right? So we will take the current cost only, which is 17.5. We will not take 18.2 because that is an assumption. We can cut down on that cost there. Similarly, here you have to find out for the wood also, right? So what's the story for wood? Wood is regularly used for HL company and usually cost 8.2. However, the company's current supplier will take 3 weeks time. An alternative supplier would deliver it at 8.5. But since we don't have any option, we will pick up some wood from him. HL company already has 500 meters of inventory and uh, out of which 480 is needed to complete an order. That means 20 meters of that they still have, right? So they will use that, and the remaining 20 liters you will not need for next 4 weeks. So we can use that wood, and the wood's price would be 8.20, right? And the rest of the 30 meter which he has to buy from outside would be at 8.50. फैब्रिक में हम रेलेवेंट कॉस्ट ले रहे हैं राइट सो हम फैब्रिक में इसलिए 17.5 ले रहे हैं बिकॉज इट इज लेसर देन योर अदर वैल्यू विच इज 18. जस्ट शो यू 17 पे फैब्रिक पड़ा है लेकिन रेलेवेंट कॉस्ट इज 17.5. दैट इज द करंट परचेज प्राइस. Right, so how much do they require? They require 200 meters that they need to buy further. 200 meters at 17.5. ये इनका फैब्रिक का वैल्यू आ गया. Wood, they have 20 meters already with them, which is at 8.2 plus 30 meters at 8.5, totaling up to 419. So it's your answer A, 3,500 and 419. Skilled labor force is employed under permanent contract for employment under which they must be paid for 40 hours per week per labor, even if their time is idle. Their rate is 16 per hour, although an overtime is paid at a time and half. In the next 2 weeks, there is a spare capacity of 150 laborers. There is no spare capacity of semi-mixed workers. There are currently paid $12 per hour or time and a half of overtime. However, a local agency can provide additional semi-skilled workers for $14 per hour. What would be the cost of skilled and semi-skilled laborers? Right? Let's start writing this answer. Talking about the skilled laborers and semi-skilled. Right. So when we talk about the skilled laborers, you have 50 hours remaining with them, right? That 50 hours you will be required to pay the time and half. They don't have any, they don't have any alternative. So $16 तो पे करते ही थे into time and half करेंगे which comes to $1,200. Semi-skilled laborers, it is cheaper to get it from the agency, which is at $14. And so the company would do that. All the 300 hours that is required will be taken from the agency at $4,200. So the answer is B, $4,200. Of the $3 per factory hour overheads cost, 1.50 hours reflect to the electricity of running the cutting machine. This will be used to cut the fabric and wood for the sofa. The other 1.50 hours reflect to the cost of the factory supervisor's salary, and the supervisor is paid an annual salary plus also paid $15 per hour for any overtime that he works. He will need 20 hours of overtime if the order is accepted. So we need to also take into consideration this cost, and we need to find out what is the factory overheads, right? So the electricity cost for 500 hours at 1.50, which comes to 750, and the what do you call it? The staff, the supervisor's cost, which is 20 multiplied by 15 because he's paid overtime, that is 300. So 1050, answer is A. Which statement currently describes the treatment of general fixed overheads when preparing the quotation, right? So here the overhead should be executed because they are sunk cost. No. Overhead should be executed excluded because they are not incremental cost. Yes, that makes sense. This is definitely wrong. The overhead should be included because they relate to production cost. Well, no. Overhead should be included because all expenses should be recovered. Answer is B. Which of the following statements about relevant costing are true? An opportunity cost will be same, will be relevant cost even if an opportunity is at past cost. True or false? We need to pick up the right answer. That is wrong. Fixed costs are always general. No. Committed costs are never considered to be relevant costs. That is true. So anyway, where there is one and two would not come. My A would not come, right? Anywhere where there is a three would come. So definitely D would also not come. Now we have, let's see, opportunity cost represents the cost of the best alternative foregone. True, even both of them has got it. Notional cost always relevant. That is out of question. Avoidable cost would be saved if any activity did not happen, so are relevant. That's also true. Common costs are only relevant if the viability of the whole process being assessed. That is true. And differential cost is a make or buy decision that are not considered to be relevant, which is wrong. Right? So your answer is C. This is eliminated. Right? So this ends us to our section C also. Now we have, sorry, section B also. Now we have got two questions which are 20 marker questions, Carad company and the other one. Let's take a 10 minutes break and then start with our section C. Section C questions, right? अब ये जो पहला वाला क्वेश्चन है, जस्ट चेक माय वॉइस, सुनाई दे रहा है कि नहीं अच्छे से। करूंगी कि आपको कैसे कहा है, जस्ट चेक माय वॉइस। परफेक्ट, इट्स वर्किंग। सो सेक्शन सी के क्वेश्चंस कैसे वर्क करते हैं? सेक्शन सी में एज आई सेड न्यूमेरिकल एंड नरेटिव्स दोनों ही होंगे। आपको इसको कैसे हैंडल करना है, ये वेरिएंस का क्वेश्चन लग रहा है पहले ही। मटीरियल प्राइस वेरिएंस एंड लेबर वेरिएंस, राइट? We should take time to read this question. That does not mean you take your sweet time to read the question. That means इसको एक बार देख जाना है, क्योंकि जब हम क्वेश्चन करते हैं ना, तब हमको क्वेश्चन को वापस एक बार तो देखना ही पड़ता है, राइट? सो एक ऊपर से देख जाना एक अलग चीज होती है, इन डेप्थ पढ़ना एक अलग चीज होती है। इन डेप्थ वाला हम कब पढ़ते हैं? जब हम क्वेश्चन को देख के फिर उसको रिलेट करने की कोशिश करते हैं। अभी मैं बोल रही हूँ, टेक योर क्विक whatever minutes you take, ideally your reading speed should also be high, but take like 2.5 minutes to start reading this question. Carrot Company is an electronic company which makes two types of televisions, plasma TV and LCD. It operates within a highly competitive market and is constantly under pressure to reduce the prices. Carrot Company operates a standard costing system and performs a detailed variance analysis of both products on a monthly basis. So there are two products, company जो दो बनाती हैं, and इनके notes हैं जो इससे related हैं। टोटल नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स कंपनी ने बताया 1400, जिसके ऊपर एक नोट है। द बजटेड टोटल सेल्स वॉल्यूम फॉर टीवी वाज 1180, which was a equal of plasma and LCD. What does that show? It shows कि कंपनी का आइडियल बजट ये था कि 1180 इक्वली डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो, दैट मीन्स 590 LCD 590 प्लाज्मा बनाए। टोटल प्रोडक्शन उनका हुआ है 1400, उन्होंने एक्चुअल में 750 प्लाज्मा 650 LCD बनाया, राइट? स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस दिया हुआ है, स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस इज 350 फॉर प्लाज्मा, 300 फॉर LCD. The actual sales price achieved is 330 for plasma, 290 for LCD. Your contribution is also given here. Plasma is 190, LCD is 180, right? So this is how the company is functioning. Now, let's see what the second question says. मैंने थोड़ा ज़्यादा in depth सारा info निकाल दिया, ठीक है? The sole reason for this variance was to increase in the purchase price of its key components. Each plasma TV made and each LCD TV made requires 1 unit of a component, for which Carrot's standard cost is 60. Due to the shortage of the component in the market, the market price for the November went up to $85, and Carrot actually paid $80 per unit for it. So this is in detail for the material price variance, which has come to an adverse of 28,000. Reason of why it is 28,000 variance adverse. They also have a labor variance, which is 6050, and which is also adverse. They have got a reason for that too. Each plasma TV uses 2 standard hours of labor, and each LCD TV uses 1.5 standard hours of labor. The standard cost for labor is 14 per hour, and this also reflects the actual cost per labor for the company's permanent staff. However, because of the increase in the sales and production volumes in November, the company also had to use additional temporary labor at the higher cost of $18 per hour. Total capacity for Carrot's permanent workforce is 2,200 hours per month. Assuming full efficiency in the month of November, the permanent workforce were wholly efficient, taking exactly 2 hours to complete each plasma TV and exactly 1.5 hours for the LCD. Total labor variance, therefore, is directly related to the temporary workers only, जिन्होंने double time लिया than the usual. What are we supposed to do here? सबसे पहले sales variance find out करना है price and volume पे, volume contribution पे, and then you have your planning variance and your operational variance, and then the labor rate variance and labor efficiency variance. Explain the reason why Carrot Company would be interested in the material price planning variance and the material price operational variances. Let's start with the first one that we know, which is sales price variance. Hmm, Details are here, so I'm just going to you know space it out there. Price and material, right? So we're just going to do the sales price first. Sales price variance, which is your two products, right? So product, actual price, standard price, difference, actual volume, and sales price variance. प्रोडक्ट है प्लाज्मा ऑल एलसीडी एक्चुअल प्राइस आपको क्वेश्चन में दिया हुआ है मैंने यहाँ पे लिखा भी था 330 एंड 290 ये रहा एंड ये रहा स्टैंडर्ड प्राइस दैट द कंपनी वांटेड वाज 350 एंड 300 also given in the question 350 and 300 the difference between actual and standard is obviously a negative value for both your products and the volume that they wanted or they actually produced was 750 and 650, right? So this multiplied by this will give you this and this multiplied by this will give you this, which comes to 15,000 and here it comes to 6,500. So 21,500 is your ADOS, right? Simple calculation. Then comes your sales volume contribution variance, right? So again, you have to this things actual volume that the company has been producing is this. The company had to produce 590. Now this is a brain drainer, huh? ये नहीं मिलता है सीधे सीधे अगर आपने अच्छे से नहीं पढ़ा हो ना तो ये नहीं मिलता है 1180 बिकॉज इट सेज दैट इट इज इनटू अ इक्वल मिक्स ये कभी कभी स्टूडेंट्स ओवरलुक कर जाते हैं दे कीप ऑन लुकिंग फॉर the standard volume that the company wanted to produce, right? So this is your actual volume, this is your standard volume. The difference is more, right? So the company has made more than expected of both of them. The standard margin is also given in the question 190 and 180, right? You'll get your variance from here. This into this gives you this, this into this gives you this. So 30,400, 10,800, giving you 41,200 favorable, right? Let's go to the next one. Every information is just in your note one, right? To find out this and this, everything is in your note one. Let's go to the next question, which is planning variance, right? Planning and operational variance, our long lost heroes जो हमने किए नहीं है सेक्शन सी में लेकिन बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं तो पहले तो मैं उसका फॉर्मूला डाल देती हूँ प्लानिंग वेरिएंस का इज इक्वल टू टारगेट प्राइस माइनस मार्केट प्राइस इनटू क्वांटिटी राइट सो अपना टारगेट प्राइस क्या है 60 होता था राइट लेकिन अब मार्केट प्राइस क्या हो गया 85 हो गया क्वांटिटी कितना चाहिए कंपनी को 1400 यूनिट्स बनानी है तो 1400 ही चाहिए राइट सो इट इज गोइंग टू बी 60 minus 85 number of units to produce is 1400 you'll get a value of 35,000 which is adverse दूसरा है operational variance the formula for that is market price minus actual price multiplied by quantity. Market price है, actual price होता था 80, right? So 85 minus 80 into 1400, which gives you 7,000 favorable, right? So your total value is 35,000 adverse minus 7,000 favorable. You don't need to show this, you just need to show your operating and operational and planning variance, right? Let's move to the next one. Labor rate and labor efficiency. Sorry, सारा नोट नंबर 3 से इसका आंसर मिलेगा, राइट? सो पहले हम लोग लेबर रेट वेरिएंस निकालते हैं, राइट? नाउ फर्स्ट वी नीड टू फिगर आउट के लेबर चाहिए कितना, राइट? सो अगर हमको पहले तो आवर्स रिक्वायर्ड, बराबर। अभी इनको 2 आवर्स लगते हैं एक प्लाज्मा बनाने को, 1.5 आवर्स लगता है एक एलसीडी बनाने को, राइट? 750 इन्होंने प्लाज्मा बनाए, सो 2 प्लस 650 LCDs, that makes it 2475, and then the actual, sorry, the permanent workers used 2200, right? So इनका temporary staff कितना हुआ, 2475 minus 2200 comes to 275 hours. This is the hours that have been excessively bought or temporarily bought. Now the question also says that this fellows took twice more time, right? So जो चीज 275 hours में होनी चाहिए थी, वो बंदों ने करी 550 hours में. So उन्होंने excess hours utilize किए हैं, right? So that is the increase in the number of hours, right? So अगर इससे ही हम efficiency देखें तो 275 hours excess है into the rate of 14 which we are paying them. So your efficiency is 3850 adverse, right? Then comes the rate variance, 14 minus 18, and कितने hours थे, 550, right? So 4 into 550 gives you 2200 adverse, and this is your rate variance. Company wanted to spend less, ended up spending more with the temporary staff on both the things, efficiency also and rate also. इसके बाद एक और क्वेश्चन आ रहा है, एक्सप्लेन द रीजन व्हाई कैरेट कंपनी वुड बी इंटरेस्टेड इन मटेरियल प्राइस प्लानिंग एंड ऑपरेटिंग मटेरियल प्राइस ऑपरेशनल वेरिएंस. सो ये काफी एक स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन है. फर्स्ट यू नीड टू शो हाउ प्लानिंग एंड ऑपरेशनल वेरिएंस has shown the actual reason for variance. That is the first thing, right? Then, secondly, you will show all the advantages of planning and operational separately, right? You will also say that the material variance is adverse by 28,000 because that is already given in the question, and you will say the reason why, right? And you will be answering your question accordingly. More stress has to be given on why company should take planning and operational variances as the actual reasons for the variances, right? Right. With this, we can go to our next question, which is our section C's last question. The question's name is Thatcher. Let's read it. So Thatcher International Park (TIP) is a theme park and has has for many years been there. About 3 years ago, the directors decided to capitalize on this success and reduce the expenditure made on the new thrill rides, reduce routine maintenance where possible, and made a commitment to regularly increase admission prices. Once an admission price is paid, customers can use any of the facilities and rides for free. These steps increase profits considerably, enabling good dividends to be paid to the owners and bonuses to the directors. The last 2 years of financial results are shown below, which, if you see, looks like the company has made little progress on the sales. Wages have reduced, maintenance has reduced, repairs have increased, salary for directors have increased, bonus have increased. Um, Depreciation has decreased. That means they must have sold some assets, right? Net profit has increased. That may be because of the cutting down of the cost, because profit itna increase हुआ दिख नहीं रहा है, right? Book value of the assets are down. That surely shows that they have sold some assets, maybe some old assets. And what else? The dividend is paid, which is also high, and the number of visitors has decreased. If sales have increased and number of visitors have decreased, that shows that price of the ticket has increased. Okay, but anything else? TIP operates in a country where the average rate of inflation is around 1% per annum. So ये जो profit मिला है वो more or less उससे भी related है. During the year of 2014, TIP employed a new qualified management accountant. He quickly became concerned about the potential performance of TIP, and to investigate his concerns, he started to gather data to measure some non financial measures of success. The data he has gathered is shown below. Hours lost due to breakdown of rides has increased 3 times. पहले 9,000 आवर्स था, अब 32,000 आवर्स हो गए हैं. दैट कैन बी अ रीजन कि रिपेयर्स एंड मेंटेनेंस को अच्छे से देखा नहीं गया था. एंड अवेटिंग टाइम फॉर राइड हैज इंक्रीज बाय 50%. पहले 20 था, नाउ इंक्रीज टू 30%. पहले 20 minutes था, now increased to 30 minutes, right? So there are certain things which don't look appropriate here. TIP has rides of different types, 50 different rides. It is open 360 days of the year and 10 hours each day. So here you need to speak about two things. हाँ, you need to look at the financial performance. Financial performance find out करने के लिए कंपनी के पास है इतना इंफॉर्मेशन जो उसने आपको दिया हुआ है, राइट? प्राइमा फेसिली जो इंफॉर्मेशन है उससे अगर जो हम गुड ओल्ड रेशियोज देखें, ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट मार्जिन निकाल पाओगे, राइट? या इन जनरल ही प्रॉफिट मार्जिन निकाल पाओगे, क्योंकि यहाँ पे टैक्सेशन भी नहीं है. नेट प्रॉफिट मार्जिन निकाल पाओगे एंड फिर वहां जाके आप हो जाते हो स्टॉप, क्योंकि जो हमारे रेशियोज है, जो 4 सेगमेंट्स ऑफ रेशियोज है, उसमें से कुछ ज्यादा नहीं मिल रहा है. मिलेगा शायद रिटर्न ऑन असेट्स, दैट्स इट. बट if this question, I'll tell you how big this question. I think this question is for 20 marks, but this particular part is, I think, for 12 marks. Let me just check and tell you. 14 marks. This is a 14 marks question. So 14 marks के क्वेश्चन में इतना तो नहीं लिखोगे, राइट? यू माइट बी राइटिंग समथिंग एल्स, इजंट इट? तो वो क्या लिखते हैं आप इसको ईयर ऑन ईयर कंपैरिजन कीजिए, right? When you are out of ratios, when you're not sure what ratios to put in because you don't have enough data to do so, you should do a year on year comparison. You know what a year on year comparison is? Take the difference and find the percentage, as simple as that. For example, अगर 2014 से 2015 में कितना ग्रोथ हुआ है वो देखना है इन टर्म्स ऑफ परसेंटेज. तो आप कैसे देखोगे 2014 की वैल्यू यू हैव, राइट? 2015 की भी वैल्यू यू हैव. फर्स्ट यू, दिस वैल्यू माइनस this value, right? So you will see a value in numbers of growth. उसके बाद वो जो भी वैल्यू आएगा ना उसको आप डिवाइड करोगे प्रीवियस ईयर से and multiply by the 100. You will get your year on year growth. So for this particular question, the year on year sales growth is 1.3%, right? वैसे करके year on year, whatever things you are highlighting, you can show. I will just show you which ones I feel important are. Apart from the profit margins, you have your sales growth. Then you can find out the price क्योंकि admission का price भी increase हुआ है, right? प्राइस एक्चुअल में दिया नहीं है लेकिन नंबर ऑफ विजिटर्स से फाइंड आउट कर सकते हो, राइट? सो 5250 you can divide it by 1500 and 5320 you can divide by 1400. You'll get your price. और आप क्या फाइंड आउट कर सकते हो? डायरेक्टर्स पे, देन योर directors bonus, right? Wages, how many customers you have lost, because see, lost on customers, right? So loss of visitors, profits आप देख सकते हो जो मैंने बताया obviously profit margin में. Return on assets, I would focus on that because if you see the number of assets has reduced. You can do the return on an asset based on profits, right? And then you can see capacity of rides in an hour. So how much capacity the rides have? They have got 50 rides at 360 days and 10 hours. So that is the total capacity in terms of 1,80,000. This you can use, this capacity you can use for your last answer, where 9,000 hours are lost and 32,000 hours are lost. You can figure out कि कितना potential company का कम हो गया, right? So in terms of values, you can put this. When you are commenting on it, you can comment on the sales reason of growth, reason of increase in sales, reason for decrease in sale wages, right? Or ये maintenance and repairs relate with question two, right? ये दोनों की salary बढ़ी है, that you can talk about, right? Assets क्यों कम कर दिए, right? Are they buying new assets or reducing slowly, right? Talk about that, analyze them. Dividend has been paid more, they should have rather spent on maintaining, right? And this has resulted into reduction in visitors. This all you will be putting up prima facie, right? And this is for your financial performance. 14 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है. I would encourage कि आपको जितने रेशियो ईयर ऑन ईयर मिल रहे हैं वो सारे ही निकालो यहाँ पे, ठीक है? और सारे पे कमेंट करो. 14 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है. It should go into your pocket. It's a easy peasy question. Next question is only talking about the quality of services. So what can we talk here about? We can talk about the lost hours, right? We can also talk about the health and safety because thrill rides है. We can talk about the waiting time. Competition ज़्यादा होगी तो लोग नहीं आएंगे. We can say price increase हुई है and lost hours increase हुए हैं. Repair and maintenance increase हुआ है. Waiting time increase हुआ है. Means overall visitors कम हो गए हैं, right? All this just analyze and figure out. This is a 6 marks question. राइट? सो फ्यू पॉइंट्स, 3 गुड पॉइंट्स विल डू योर जॉब। ओवर नहीं लिखना है, एक्स्ट्रा नहीं लिखना है, मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे, कोई मतलब नहीं बनता है, राइट? सो व्हाट डिड आई डू? आई गिव यू एन ओवरलुक ऑफ कैसे हम इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस को हैंडल करते हैं, कैसे आप एक 100 मार्क्स के पेपर को हैंडल करते हैं, राइट? ऑब्वियसली यहाँ पे माय आइडिया वाज कि मैं आपको दिखाऊं कि आपको किस डायरेक्शन में जाना है सॉल्व करने के लिए, या फिर ये पूरा पूरा एग्जैक्ट आंसर अगर आपको चाहिए तो वो सीबीई प्लेटफॉर्म पे है। अपना माई एसीसीए पोर्टल ओपन कीजिए, सीबीई प्लेटफॉर्म में स्पेसिमेन पेपर है ये, इसको ही मैंने यहाँ पे डिकोड किया है। And tomorrow I am going to do one more of those practice questions. But if you notice the questions that we have on the CBE paper, the past questions, that past papers that we have on the CBE platform, they only have section C. So I have picked up two questions which are different, which I have not done earlier. And again, we will be doing two of those questions tomorrow, which are typical section C questions, and where you can increase your your confidence on the way you handle it. After that, I've got certain tips that I want to give to you and focus on again how to approach this paper, focus on how to use the theory as your strong point, and how to use the art of elimination, which is very important. ये सारी ही चीजें कल हमारे last revision revolution class में we will be doing it. So I hope you are studying and please keep doing it. थोड़े ही दिन है एग्जाम के लिए, I promise उसके बाद मजे हैं, right? You will be, when you are going to work hard for all this time, you'll realize that it will be a good story for you, and it becomes easier for you to finish your performance management paper, right? With that note, we ended today's class, and I will see you tomorrow for the last class of revision.